Guys, what's going on? Welcome to another wonderful episode of Scriptly Adapted. I'm one of your hosts, Keode Howard.
And I'm Kate Knowles. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Guys, we are today doing really highly inspirational movie in a way.
Yeah, I would
really,
say so.
it's getting some steam as being popular. We're doing Room,
Yeah.
starring Brie Larson. You know, she's an Oscar-nominated actress now, and a little 9-year-old kid named Jacob Tremblay who did his thing in this movie.
Right.
What do you think?
So we would love for you, the movie isn't just about the Joy Newsome story. For those of you who don't know, she was a young kid abducted and was held in captivity for about 7 years. But it's not just about that. It's about the relationship really between mother and child, her and her son, and also her and her mother once she's released. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a quick trailer. Check this out, guys.
Check it out.
Listen to me. This is our chance. Thank you for letting us do this interview. We're grateful to hear your story.
Thank you to everyone who sent their good thoughts and their prayers.
For 5 years, you made life in that small room, that prison, as nurturing and normal as you could.
Mom, I'm 5. You're 5.
You are so old now.
Yep.
Hey, do you know what we're gonna do today?
What?
We are going to bake a birthday cake.
You chose to tell Jack that room was the whole world, that there was nothing else.
Good morning, lamp. Good morning, plant. Good morning, sink.
I wanted him to feel safe and that it was a great place for him to live.
Did you ever think you would be free?
I hoped.
Hello, Jack.
Thanks for saving our little girl.
Guys, I hope that trailer gave you everything, and I hope you go see the film and support it. What I want to jump into real quick is talking about the cinematography and how it was filmed. For me, it really, really added to the film because especially when the film opens, you see them in the room.
Yeah.
And they film it in such a way where it makes you think that the room is so much bigger than it actually is. And they do that on purpose because it really ties into the point of the film, which is Brie Larson's character is trying to create this world for her son. She's trying to create a bigger than life attitude and trying to make her son understand that, you know, he's okay and everything is perfect and everything is fine. As the movie goes on and they're released, you know, they check back into the room and it's unbelievable. It was unbelievable to me to watch the difference between what the room looked like at the end of the film and what the room looked like in the beginning of the film. It was so much smaller.
Now, Kate, you have to also realize that the reason why the room is so much bigger while they're in it is because you got to remember they both have almost the mentality or the mind of a child in a way.
Right.
She was kidnapped at a young age.
That's true.
And she's also creating this world for her son, who's probably 5 in the movie. So it's big to both of them because they need to imagine what it's like to be outside since they're not.
Yeah.
So they need to create a world, and that world was in that room, and it was bigger than it really was.
Right.
For that simple reason. Just
And
to
I
create
didn't
the
even
world.
think of it like that because, you know, she was really young when she was abducted, and that comes to light when she's released and after she's talking to her mom, you know, which we have a little thing later on that you'll see. But she really had to transition, and I think it was also about her reclaiming her innocence in a way.
Right.
And then the cinematography really did a great job with that. They did a lot of close-ups.
Lots of close-ups.
A lot of, you know, not too many wide shots, a lot of close-up shots and stuff like that, especially of the boy that played her son, a lot of those.
Yes, especially when Jacob Tremblay's character is escaping from the van or from the pickup truck that he is in.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of zoom-ins, a lot of close-ups, simply to show, I guess, the distress that he's feeling, probably running out of the van for the first time in this world that he's never known.
Right.
Right?
I think it's really intense, and I think the close-up shots really add to that, especially when he's wrapped up in the rug.
Yes.
And you can hear his breathing, and you can really be in there with him and almost look at what he's seeing through his eyes. So overall, I think the cinematography was great. In terms of the acting and the casting, Keode, tell us a little about what you thought.
So guys, listen, the acting was pretty good. The acting, I would say, was better than what I thought. I walked into this not expecting much. I was expecting a good film overall, but not just but not going in saying, oh, this is going to be great acting, because Brie Larson comes from the only show I know of, which is the United States of Terror,
Right.
which was back in the early 2000s. And she was good in that, but I didn't know she could stretch. And
Right.
it's really cool to see actors who are able to stretch in films like this. So she did a phenomenal job. She was able to portray a young woman who was trying to live for her son and trying to teach him, try to keep his childhood still, and try to teach him the ways of the world, but just living in this secluded box, basically.
Yeah.
So I thought she was great. But Jacob, I think,
Yeah.
stole the movie.
Oh, he totally did.
He
totally did.
He told his story through a child's eyes, which was so innocent and so pure that it was moving in a way. And I thought he was able to portray this young child who didn't know anything but this room so well that it captured an audience, and it made you really think about, man, these people. He just doesn't know what type of situation he's in. It's a dire situation in a way. What do you think?
I completely agree with that. For a 9-year-old kid in real life to play a 5-year-old, I mean, you know, there's always been talk about getting older actors to play younger roles, but he did a phenomenal job. You know, the character has longer hair. So I think also, too, that idea and that sense of not being able to have access to the creature comforts that we do, like getting your hair cut and stuff like that. I think they cast it perfectly. Like you said, United States of Terror, Brie Larson really shined in that, but I think the show wasn't about her, so she didn't really have a chance to come into her own. Whereas with this show, this movie, it wasn't just about her, but she just completely excelled in this role.
Yes.
Another role that was really, really great was Joan Allen.
Joan Allen, yes.
She was fantastic, and she played Brie Larson's mother. There was that sense of stress and that sense of, I think for me, what really captivated me by Joan Allen's performance was that she was able to combine all these different types of emotions.
Right. Now,
she was upset, she was relieved, she was trying to acclimate herself to her new daughter coming home. I mean, it was a whole bunch of things that I think she really, really did well.
and she played the role of a mother who was distressed really well, like you just said. Like she really,
Yeah,
you really
totally.
believed that she had lost a daughter for 7 years,
Yeah.
and really kind of didn't know how to go about navigating a relationship with her, because it's been so long. I mean, you know, this girl's been locked up for 7 years, has a kid now.
Yeah.
There's an emotional disconnect,
Right.
From her mom and from her dad, who was also played by William H. Macy, who also did his thing in this film and who's also awesome and is a great actor in his own right. But they were able to really capture the essence of parents who just kind of didn't know how to go about connecting again, especially William H. Macy's
Yeah.
character, who couldn't really accept the fact that his grandson is a product of this rape, essentially by this man who took his daughter 7 years ago.
Right. And that's a great segue, because the next topic that we would love to explore a little bit more, and what I fully believe is what the totality of the film is the relationship between mother and child.
Yes.
So not only is, and this is the bulk of our dissection really, in my opinion, because not only is this movie really about the relationship between Brie Larson's character Joy and her son Jack, but it's about the relationship between Joan Allen's character and her daughter. And we want to preface it by showing you another little clip, and then we'll get into it a little bit more deeply. Check this out.
Check it out.
He needs to play with something real. I'm worried about him being on the phone.
He's doing fine.
Well, I don't give him my phone, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't give him yours.
Okay, well,
Great. I just want him to connect with something.
Joy. Joy. He's really doing fine.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm supposed to be happy.
You just need to rest, okay?
No, I don't. I don't need to rest.
That's what the doctor
That is not what the doctor said. You don't know what he said because it was a confidential conversation and you don't know what he said.
All right. I feel like you're impossible to talk to right now.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're not sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sorry. You have no idea what's going on in my head.
Yeah, well, try me. I have asked you.
And then what? Then every time you look at me, that's all that you see?
When I look at you, Joy, I will see my daughter.
Well, guys, Hope you enjoyed that clip. To kind of sum up what we were talking about the relationship between mother and daughter in this case, where it's a little testy. You know,
Right.
it's
Totally
been,
is.
Okay, I mean, like I said before, it's been 7 years since these two have seen each other, and there's a disconnect. Her mother and her father are no longer together, so that's probably weighing on her. And as in Joan Allen's character's situation, she's trying to see who her daughter is again. So there's a lot of that, right? A lot
Yeah.
of trying to guess the personality of who you're sitting next to. It might be a complete stranger now that she's back home.
Right.
I wanted to get into, Kate, one of the most important relationships was Jacob Tremblay's character and
Of course.
Brie Larson's.
Of course.
That was the definite epitome of a mother keeping her son safe.
And you know, it's
Right?
ironic to say that because you wouldn't think that she's keeping him safe by them being in the situation they're in. But when we say that, we mean a safe kind of experience for him. And that's why it's called Room, because he even refers to it after their release, room, room, room. And it almost has, she's created it so much in his mind to be positive that it almost has a life of its own.
Right.
And they have one of the most beautiful and innocent and pure relationships I have ever witnessed between mother and child. I'm not a mother myself, I don't have children, so I can't even imagine the urge that you have to protect your children. But I can only think that while watching this, that Brie Larson really became herself, really became Joy in this situation to provide an experience for her child where he felt protected.
Yes.
And he never once doubted her. He never once didn't trust her. And
that-
to me, that was beautiful.
And in a way, that was also an issue where he didn't trust anybody. He trusted her so much that he didn't trust anybody else because that's all
Yeah.
he knew.
Yeah.
But their relationship, like you said, was so pure and so innocent. She was able to create this world for him and able to keep him safe, despite old Nick, who was the character who locked her up. Despite old Nick coming down and just kind of having his way with her, she still protected him and guided him and shielded him.
Totally. I mean, it was an amazing film. I loved it. I definitely believe this is Oscar worthy. I believe that Brie Larson deserves this Oscar. I believe her performance was Oscar worthy. I think it was a shining moment for her. And I think that she will be, I don't think she'll be one in a million type of Oscar winners. I think she has a really broad career stretched out in front of her.
Okay, I do believe I loved it. I think it's definitely Oscar worthy. It will win an Oscar. She's going to win that Oscar. She's won every other award this season, last being the SAG Award. She definitely deserves it. It was a performance that was better than everybody else's. It was pure,
Yeah,
it was natural.
absolutely.
It was something that you believed. And it had a lot of layers to it, despite the simplicity and the simplicity/complexity of the story in a way.
Yeah.
Lots of layers, and I think she's going to win it.
Totally. So, you know, we just want to give some different nuances of our show. And we want you to kind of give us feedback on our social media types. You know, as we usually do, we plug all our local indie theaters,
Yes.
for example, Jacob Burns.
Yep.
And we'd really love you to keep in touch, give us your feedback, send us an email, but also more importantly, plug us on social media and also follow us on YouTube, which is where we usually post our shows. So take care, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Guys.
Stay tuned. Our next show is Tuesday, March 1st.
Guys, thank you so
we'll
much
see you
for
then.
joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Check out Room. Check out Brie. She's going to win this Oscar. See you
That's
soon.
it. Take care, guys. Bye.